survive it. I know that hey, you don't blame anybody. And after all, she's not the only person I'll go through. And I'm shocked why MPP is still pursuing this particular matter. Do you know why? Because the whole show now, the whole show, sometimes you begin even to doubt the competence of the former Chief Justice. The whole process,
Doubt.
Yes, you doubt the competence because, and this whole thing makes the whole thing quite a bit funny. For instance, if you go to the Constitution, it is clearly espoused in unambiguous terms, very clear. Your friend say the process na yade Article 146 process must be held in camera. That is an absolute position of the law. There is nothing anybody can do about it unless the Constitution is amended. Then the Chief Justice goes to court and says, court, waive that particular thing and let me have mine on TV. Aren't you worried? Because for her to even conceive that notion, quite problematic. You see, Ghana, for issues...
The law is the law.
The law is the law.
And she knows the law.
And this provision in act is springing on us.
And the law must be applied always.
Exactly. It has a constitutional foundation. So you don't even raise that argument to say, Mama media TV. So because judge now will be he doesn't have power to do that. That is why Justice Amadou Tanko in his ruling made it quite clear. Say, you are asking us to do the impossible. Because we as a court, we don't have the power to vary a constitutional provision. Because it is absolute. Where there is some sort of a lack of clarity on the provision, that is where the judge is enjoined to put interpretation on the clause. But this one, your case must be held in camera. Do you need interpretation?
No.
You don't need any interpretation on it. So a whole Chief Justice to make argument to say, TVs, don't you, aren't you worried?
Article 146(8),
Exactly.
Yeah, so all proceedings under this article shall be held in camera.
Okay.
And the justice or chairman against whom the petition is made is entitled to be heard in his defense by himself or by a lawyer or anyone of his choice. Good.
So Adia Okanye and your act and your CI it's a constitutional provision. The foundation, is in the Constitution. So why would the Chief Justice ask you need the TV? So then when you're that particular young granting that relief, then she goes on TV and the content of the petition, she takes it on TV and read to people everything. Don't you think they were breachy? So now no make catch you say process na ye Chief Justice say even say a copy say odi bema ade na oye another grounds of incompetence, another person make me submit a petition for her removal because you breach the Constitution in the process of seeking this relief. You breach it. So at the end of the day, your competence even you bring it to question. So because as a Chief Justice, we are grounded in law. These are basic errors that you should not do. You understand? So for me, I think say politics na say seriousness be wom. Na say ye operate with due diligence, your conscience. I'm not sure anybody on the side of the MPP will be following this woman anymore because I said me by the pardon was saying and what is your don't forget Chief Justice a member of Judges Association in this country. But what's your monk baby? What be why? Because the mother association is the Judges Association. What is our Makasada? So Ghana Bar Association, a mouthpiece, no more woman. On one casa, the Kuba time or the judges and Ankasa are quiet, observing the process, and nobody has raised anyway. Now, what in China also be there? It's up to you.
Anti Anka say, Anamoa, Omampeni, Etuno, Senka, and Fambremwa.
Yes.
Anka, Judges Association of Ghana.
Yes.
Anka Omaba Monte.
Obviously, somebody would have. Because on winning panel, say, this or no yes, and our soon at the day, the catch a man for say, you can't emra. We are lawyer, you don't interpret laws. We are lawyer, you are just trained to have a refined understanding of the law. But it is not in your place to interpret a constitution. So sometimes you see people on TV and a cross way or church you opinion or what they so. A judge is the only person that is your friend say engendered with the power to put interpretation on the court. We are judge, we are lawyer, the can be our drink. That is why we election petitioner, Chachuchi Kata of all people to be solid and answer, make all the argument, or we are not judging about to go. They are not because they say the law is at the bosom of the judge. The interpret as a lawyer, you
don't have the discretion.
No. Yours is to you see have a refined understanding
of the law.
Okay, judge, it make sense to the judge or to me I do position to but you don't interpret laws. What I say, and we don't interpret laws. But you were trained to understand the law, and then they are not put interpretation, which the Judges Association. You think if something has gone contrary and come your man. What I say? So for me, this whole thing is politics. You understand? My man and Kasa crack or tenancy or mess it up because this short period, petition call a buyer or quaternary committee, there has been a catalogue of incompetence and what display for me, I think there are grounds for another removal. So this particular issue, there is no issue. Oh no. Bafo Bonnie should go and meet Parliament, go through the vetting. I don't know the Parliament gentleman. Uncle the Chief Justice, but Torkonoor, she's a goner, and on him that she can fight and for baby because as long as she has not been able to prove exactly what occasion the wrong within the remit of the law, no dear. The other can be an emotional expression of whatever and or express it. And for me, Afenyo Markin and Co, that is what they do. For them, politics is about being destructive, becoming a saboteur, stopping the process, and then so forth. On one said this particular thing. The anti-cromana, your friend say e-levy. Look at the kind of pressure some of us mounted on Parliament to say, don't go ahead and do it. Yeah, nearby on some way, Okujato and is it one other minister, is it Haruna Idrisu or one other person, took the issue to court. On money bomb hosono, no one jatumas and abayamra. The court sat aloof, you understand? By another, you want a court to your friends, a Parliament. Master of its own proceedings, our court, to be directed by a court to stop the proceeding. So speaker, yes, and I'm not sure she's going to heed to those nonsense. No. Bafo Bonnie, the Chief Justice, because what we are looking at, say, your judicial system, no. A bit nice once again, because who are winning, you know the kind of issues Ghanaians had about the institution called the judiciary. It became so dirty to the sense that got them. Trust, confidence, so we take it upon ourselves that there is the need for us to revive the competence and the credibility of the judiciary. And that is exactly what the president is seeking to do. And a lot of people have been brought on the fold because in the past year, who pushing some individuals into the place. People with known partisan ties were even pushed to become Supreme Court judges. Against the sensibility of the people, because people are watching. Everybody in this country is politically sensitive. And the I contested on the ticket of NDC pen. Recently, I see in the past, it doesn't matter. But then people have become politically conscious. You fall Supreme Court judge. You may have all the knowledge in the world. You can say, I will be fair. But will people trust you?
No.
But in a governance architecture, what people don't get is not about just competence. It is about the trust and confidence we, the citizens, repose in the institution. Because at the end of the day, it is our trust and confidence that will make or that will guarantee your survival. It's not about police. If you go to any democratic state and you think police need soldier for and the bomb mine I'm saying bibi how kakra because a trust and confidence are nipa or more mine every post and I'm and we must always do everything to ensure that we guarantee public trust and confidence. And that's exactly what is happening. So we need to save the judiciary by making sure that Emma Ghana for any trust and confidence. And we've out and within element of portray incompetence and must be flushed out. Ghana for will be clear on their mind. Say, I have an institution that impartial, very neutral, very independent. I can rely on the judiciary. We live in a country where a man for professor obebudia dance over court. Uno binya sama obefran to enya mabo udia na instead of court because the court process and the people don't trust it. In recent time we call social media. Look at the way the judiciary was being subjected to some sort of ridicule, public mortification. Unanimous this, ruling bad. They were predictable. People were even suggesting, say, "Ubetim the judiciary now could try bet and answer for them." This mockery, people might think it's just opinion. No, aggregation of it reflected the trust and confidence public have in the institution. So we are serious as a president, and you take earnest measures to resolve it, just to build public confidence. Maamiya Mokumani. She's the same woman who took pen and paper and wrote a list of people, say, President, appoint these people as Supreme Court judges. Isn't it a mark of incompetence? Because as a Chief Justice, you know the process. Your friend is saying, a judge of the Superior Court of Judicature, you know the process. And now, as a Chief Justice, now for paper throw among 14, you circumvent all the processes, the consultative processes now you're involved now. You circumvent everything. Take a list and send it to the president and say, oh, appoint a man for. You are advertising nothing but incompetence. You are telling people that you are not fit for purpose. You can occupy that particular role. And there are enough grounds for you to be removed. Because these are sensitive positions. Because these are people who are clothed with the power to take away your liberty, your freedom. And they are very important to every human being who has so your liberty, your freedom. So once it is curtailed, everything has been taken away. So the person clothed with the power to take those things away from you, that person must exercise discretion. That is absolute, that is powerful, and that must appear neutral. You understand? So I think going forward, these are some of the things that we must be guided. There be a Roberto as guide and Nibia will serve in whichever capacity, bear in mind. Say your allegiance is to the people of this country, your service is to the people, isn't to anybody who appointed you, the puppet, whoever who gave you power, Obana we are say to serve that particular person. Trust me, when in Beguasi, and that's exactly the unfortunate situation that the Chief Justice found herself in. It's quite unfortunate, but it is what it is. Like she said, the law is the law, and that is the law, and nothing can be done about it. She's a goner. She must accept her fate and go. After all, Chief Justice Nenya Busunya Kumya. And Yasia Kumya, and I can say Nana Kumya near Ubiba no Biakona Rollins a crowd of him. So, Panon Croma him. Oh, Chief Justice will not be the yes, Nipana would do almost one pell. What is your problem? Just go. I keep telling people that never be comfortable at a place you are not needed. That's my basic principle. The people say they don't need you. So what is this fight for? Go and apply another trade. Say Chief Justice. You can go and be relevant in other fields as well. But Chief Justice in the Nema why and I think they were we and there is nothing that will bring her back.
I see. Until Afenyo Markin more corny and more between an encusiac.
Oh, I said Afenyo Markin has been a beneficiary of Torkonoor's. Your friend is saying some of the bad discretion exercise for the first time on the parliament issue. Look at the lightning speed with which the Chief Justice set a date for that particular proceedings. The following day, so Okusiano or Demo Okusiano, anybody also not ya several parliament with the whole thing. Okay. But Sambreno, now there were a lot of critical issues pending. As a president, as a all the ones, one year LGBT was one of them, and several other cases. So another day, when you do that, you demonstrate bias and certain affinity to the person. And hold on. And conventionally, I'm told at that time, not Fridays, not Supreme Court, but surprisingly, out of the blue, she empaneled and they sat on that particular issue. It means you have a vested interest. Yeah, in the eyes of the people, because we were dealing with a Supreme Court at the time, in the eyes of the people, you were seen to be a neutral. So at the end of the day, if you are being seen as a neutral, then you validate the opinions and the perception people have about you. You understand? So as a sensible person, you don't do some of these things. But they were blinded by their greed. They were blinded by their unholy alliances and affinities.
As a sensible person, don't you think it's too harsh?
Oh, no. Because a sensible person is being the same as being a reasonable person, assessing all the facts on the ground.
I would have preferred that you use
no, it's the same thing. It's addiction depending on the choice you make. But the argument is that exercising discretion without thinking. You see, that is how it is. So I think the Amoyan is just politics. They just want to drag the process and create a certain impression, say something ill has happened. But the question is, what is the ill? Pontificate it and let's know. Because if you're able to prove a point, are they a committee illegal?